I just started getting into fountain pens and I was wondering if it's possible to fill a standard international converter by just dipping the converter in the ink bottle instead of dipping the entire tip of the pen in the ink bottle. Absolutely, Mitchell. By all means, fill it however you want. You don't even have to do that. If you have an ink syringe, you could do that. Do I have an ink syringe on here that I can show? Nope. Nope. Thought I had one. That's all right. It's just a blunt tip syringe. You can fill the converter directly with a syringe, and you don't even have to unscrew the converter if you don't want to. That's a way to do it. So really, you're just trying to get the ink into that pen. That's the only thing. The benefit of doing what you're describing here, with you taking the converter off and filling it, is the nibs of most fountain pens. And I'm looking around trying to find one. Okay, here we go. So the nib of most fountain pens is fairly long, right? And where fountain pens fill from most of the time is not on every single pen, but most of them fill right here where the feed fits into the grip of the pen, right on the backside there. So if you have a bottle of ink that has less than that amount of ink in there, probably a half inch or so of ink in the bottom of the bottle, you're going to have a hard time filling that pen. So if you have a converter pen, the one I'm holding is not a converter pen, but if you have a converter pen, you can take the converter off. Here's a converter. You can take the converter off your pen and you can go, and that opening is right down in there. You can get right down in the corner of that bottle and you can suck up pretty much every last drop of ink out of that bottle, assuming that your bottle is deep enough where you can actually get your fingers in there. That's where an ink syringe really helps. But that's the concept. The only drawback to doing it that way is that when you're filling directly from the bottle with the nib, you're kind of priming the nib and the feed with ink as you're drawing it in. So you're going to get a little more ink capacity if you're drawing it through the nib and the feed. And it's also primed and ready to go. If you're just filling the converter, same thing as kind of when you have a cartridge and you install it for the first time, you're going to have to kind of force a little bit of ink down through the feed, probably about a quarter of it or so, to kind of force it down in there to get that feed primed up. And then you're going to lose a little bit of your ink capacity. But if you're in a refilling situation, like you've used an ink and you're going to use the same ink and refill it, you're not going to clean the whole pen out, then that's not an issue because your feed's already primed. So that's where it's easier. But if it's that first time and you're doing this method you're talking about, that's the only thing you kind of want to watch out for. So other than that, knock yourself out, man.